Hey YouTube, are you ready for a game-breaking meta change right here? Look at these attack changes that we're going to get. Scald, slightly lower chance of lowering your opponent's attack. One of the issues with Scald was that it was actually a really hard-hitting water move for how fast you get to it, and the Pokemon that have it have fast energy generating fast moves. But at least we go down from like a 50% chance of 30% chance. Of course, that's not going to change Whiscash any because Whiscash gets by on being very sneaky, bulky with very spammy. So you're still going to do the same amount of damage in the same amount of time with a slightly lower chance of lowering your attack. So maybe it won't affect that one as much. But hey, at least there's a Spark nerf. That's a direct attack down Lantern. Except now, Lantern can run Water Gun, which is actually pretty useful for the current state of the meta, because now it can hit neutral on Whiscash, neutral on Quagsire, neutral on Swampert, super effective on Gligar, super effective on Bastiodon, super effective on Carbink. So, and it's not like Skarmory or Mantine are now going to beat it by them not running Spark. So Lantern's probably not going anywhere either. But at least there's a Seed Bomb buff. Yes, that's what we need, more grass in this meta. Of course, with the Seed Bomb buff, they haven't actually changed all the flyers. So, Skarmory, Mandibuzz, Gligar are still going to absolutely run through any grass in this meta. But Swift, this is where it's going to get big. Swift is actually a terrible move. They're decreasing the power, but decreasing the energy. So we could get like a 1.4 damage per energy move on a bunch of Charmers. This is the meta. The biggest change we could potentially see realistically is Thunder Punch. But the Thunder Punch on these Pokemon, the majority of them are not useful. People are excited with Typhlosion. If you go back to my initial analysis, Typhlosion is not a significant upgrade with Thunder Punch. Scrafty, like this one's debatable. I want to actually test this one, but I still think Power Punch ramping up with a bait move that you can ramp up counter may be actually better. Now you will get coverage for Skarmory on some of these, which is fine, but like Lucario, you're probably not running Thunder Punch. Maybe you replace Power Punch with Thunder Punch, but it's a super glassy Pokemon anyways. Some people just run Double Nuke and Shadow Ball in close combat anyway, so that doesn't help it. The meta's not changing, and we're gonna go over the Great League rankings here. So top teams video, what team should I use? Whatever you used last season, you should use, because that's the meta. Replace Water Gun instead of Spark on Lantern, which actually changes a few matchups there. But otherwise, this meta is just the exact same, right? And here we are. Registeel, Cresselia, Annihilate, Carbink, Mandibuzz, Skarmory, Gligar, Quagsire, Lickitung, Feraligatr, Swampert, Azumarill, Bastiodon, Mantine, Medi, non-Shadow Feraligatr? Yeah, non-Shadow Feraligatr. There's your Empoleon Gallade that got boosted last season. There's your Clotsire. There's your Goodra. That's getting a community move that you now, instead of maybe running Aqua Tail or Power Wave, you now run Thunder Punch as the community move. Give you a little coverage on Skarmory there. Oh, there's your Shadow Whiscash, despite a Scald nerf, is still ranked 27. There's Lantern with Water Gun, ranked 32. So the meta is not changing. The meta is not changing. There's no real move that changes the meta. Like I said, with the Scald lowering, it wasn't the fact that Scald is just a hard-hitting move. Here are all your water moves. It's organized by energy, and actually that's organized by damage per energy. So you have basically legacy moves on Pokemon that are not usable in this league. Hydro Cannon, which is again most broken, like one of the most broken community moves. Hydro Pump way too high, and then here we go. You're now at a 1.7 damage per energy, the highest damage per energy water move that can be realistically used by Pokemon in this game. So now, instead of a 50% chance, you still have a 30% chance. So again, look at Liquidation down here at 1.55 with a 30% chance, right? So you're one of the best water moves in the game. And Whiscash has always gotten by on being super strong based on its stat product, right? So let's go to Whiscash here. Let's take a look at its stat product from the non-shadow. And like again, if you've been around on this channel before, 175 attack is low. But that 178 stamina and 2000 overall stat product just makes this a very, very bulky, strong Pokemon for Great League. Put on the fact that it has one of the fastest charging moves in the game in Mud Shot with a very nice stab 1.8 damage Mud Bomb and 2.04 damage Scalds that comes super quick. Like, that damage is adding up. It does not matter that they're going to lower it from 50 to 30. Like, maybe you see a slight decrease, but then there's still Quagsire and Swampert. So guess what? Skarmory, Quagsire, Swampert, or Whiscash is still a core. It's still a core that's going to be everywhere. This meta will not change from that perspective. Lantern, they basically just made it more usable against the meta, right? I just kind of said you're not going to win. You weren't going to win a lot of these anyways, like the grass and the guys like Dragon resist you every way. You're going to lose to that. But now, instead of really losing to Whiscash, you're only like slightly losing to Whiscash. You'll lose a mirror match if there's a Lantern that's still running Spark. But like Charjabug with Water Gun, you'll do better than Spark resisted. And then look at these like Gligar matches that were kind of close. You now pick up. So Water Gun, Lantern everywhere. So you could still build a team with Lantern to go after Skarmory because Skarmory still can't do anything against you. The Thunder Punches. Again, who was the first one on this list with Thunder Punch? Scrafty. This is one, again, this is the only one I'm interested. There's two I'm interested in trying. I'm not even interested in trying Typhlosion because if you see down here 245, I've already gone over the issues with this. And it's right here in a stat product. 132 attack, 108 defense, 117 stamina. It's like a glass cannon without actually having the 145 attack stat product that you see on like Surfetch and stuff. So it's actually like a worse stat product overall because you don't have that, like, if you want to be that 108, if you want to be a 108, 117 defense, like, you need to have like a 145 attack. Now I know 87 here, but like 122 is higher there. Surfetch is going to be very similar where it's going to be like around 107, 98, but 146 attack, right? So you really get way more attack on these class cannons. So now you have like an awkward Pokemon that's like semi glass cannon, but now you're using a non-stab Thunder Punch as a bait move that does 1.38 damage to go with a nuke of a Blast Burn. Like, and again, in a meta that is still going to be dominated by water Pokemon, right? Whiscash isn't going anywhere. Lantern's not going anywhere. Again, I still think there's too many flyers. I think there's too many flyers for like a bunch of grass to come out. Like, look at all these very usable flying Pokemon that's still in the top 26. So, look, I get it. This is not new. This is not new because we know that Pokemon Go Niantic does not like to make significant meta changes before the World's Championship for Play Pokemon. And that's happening in August in Hawaii, I think, this year. So it's within this season. They're not going to make significant changes to the meta. But it's one thing to not make significant changes. There's like no changes, right? We just went over the top 20, which is the exact same. Like 25, but it's beyond the top 20 that's the same. It's like the top 40 that's the same, right? You still have your Pelipper's and Vigoroth and Toxapex and the Dragons, Heckmoho and Shadow Poliwrath and Steelix and Dragonair and Jellicent. Like, the whole top 60 hasn't changed. There's your Umbreons and stuff like, and then we go down to the Charjabug. Like literally nothing has changed this season. And so it's going to be quite a boring meta because it's going to be the exact same. So if you used a team last season that worked, use it again because it will just be the exact same. And if you're like me who couldn't find a team that worked, you're still going to have to struggle this season because again, this meta's not shifting. So that's unfortunate, but kind of expected. We'll just have to see how this plays out. Again, I'll try a couple Pokemon. One thing I didn't show you is like Swift is still a really bad move. Like, it's only 55 damage, so 1.37 damage per energy. Maybe if they move that down to 35, then maybe your charmers will like that, because they could just like overpower with charm and then have like a 35 energy move to use, as opposed to them that are using like a 45 energy move now. So that would be a significant difference, right? Because let's say you have like icy wind and you have disarming voice, right, on Wiggly. So if right now Wiggly uses disarming voice and icy wind, and even though they're the same energy and disarming voice does 10 more damage, 95% of Wigglies throw icy wind because they just want to lower your attack. So like, if they get swift to 35 energy, that's something, because Wiggly is also half normal, so they'll get the same type attack bonus on top of it. But if it's 40 energy, it's like completely useless for the Pokemon that they gave it to, because it's just a bad move. So again, disarming voice is useless. The nerf to Scald and Spark, okay. Yes, they needed to be nerfed, but those Pokemon are still going to be super relevant. The Thunder Punch isn't going to be really relevant for the most part. Maybe you see a slight decrease in Skarmory's, but not likely. Because again, one of the weaknesses is like fire, and you still have waters everywhere in this meta and stuff like that. So it is what it is. The season is filled with Great Leagues. Right? There's always a Great League going on. They always do the double during the Ultra League Match League. They always double up, right? Summer Cup here, Fantasy Cup here. Oh, sorry, Fossil Cup here, and I missed one. Great League Remix and Great League Remix here. So where I'm guessing. Let me see. Yeah, they banned Whiscash and Great League Remix. Quagsire still available. Swampert still available. I mean, Skarmory is banned, so you couldn't pair that core. But like, again, there's so many just like substitutes for a pure Mudboy that just like slightly taking down Scald and putting it in a ban for a remix does not offset what the meta is, right? So, okay, that's enough. That's enough talk about the Great League. We will see it in action this week. Stay tuned for, tomorrow, 2 videos. One sort of like calling out how I want to do more subscriber videos, like showcasts, and then 2 about a very, very, very in-depth lesson about me failing to hit Legend for the first time in 16 seasons. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.